Let's wait a few seconds for attendees to start joining in. Okay, so I see attendees have started joining in. Hello, guys. Welcome to Amplify 2025. I hope all of you are having a wonderful time over here. Welcome to another very amazing session that is going to be hosted by Doug Callaghan. Without wasting any time, I would love to introduce him to you. He's a business development coach from Elite, and today he'll be giving an amazing session on making your shop ready to sell. So over to you, Doug, and good luck.
Awesome. Thanks, Kenna. So let me tell you about my father, Vic. Vic was a force of nature. He's the kind of guy who could fix anything. He opened his service shop with nothing but a toolbox, a dream, and a relentless work ethic. I can still picture it. Vic's service sign hanging, a little bit crooked, smell of grease and coffee in the air. You know those old service stations, what they were like? Gas pumps out front, the ding ding bell out front. Dad, as always, with a wrench in his hand and a smile on his face. He poured his heart and soul into that place. Early mornings, late nights, he was always there. He was building something incredible. And he did. Vic's service became the go-to spot in town, known for its honest work and Dad's friendly demeanor. He built that business into something very, truly special. Then the day came he decided it was time to pass the torch on to his son, to enjoy the fruits of his labor and maybe spend some time fishing or spending time with his grandkids. He thought it would be a smooth handover and a really proud moment. There was a problem. Dad hadn't planned for this. He'd been so focused on building the business, on keeping customers happy, that he hadn't really prepared for the day that he wouldn't be there to run it. Years of hard work, his legacies almost slipped through his fingers. It was a tough lesson, one that took a toll on Dad and our family. As someone who's worked with business owners, I've seen this happen time and time again. And honestly, it's heartbreaking. But it doesn't have to be this way. That's why I'm here today, to share the lessons I've learned, to help you avoid the same mistakes, to ensure that your business is not only successful, but also ready for the future, whatever that might hold. My name is Doug, and I'm a business development coach for Elite Worldwide. And it is my pleasure to be able to speak with you today about preparing your business for sale from day one. A little bit about who I am. I'm a development coach for Elite. I also own an automotive repair shop up in beautiful downtown Wainwright, Alberta, Canada. And I've done a few other things in my career as living in Wainwright. So Elite, who are we? Well, we're a company that lives by the principle of never putting money ahead of people. We can help you reach your goals and dreams. We offer one-on-one coaching through our Top Shop 360. We offer management training through Fly with the Eagles, service advisor training through our master's program, and also have mastermind groups through Pro Service. Check us out at eliteworldwide.com and you can take a look at everything we have to offer. So today, I want you to keep an open and positive mind. Take lots of notes. Determine how the content that we're going to provide can improve your business today and maybe improve your personal life. And finally, at the end of the session, take a few items and make them a commitment to your success both now and in the future. So what are we going to cover today? Well, we're going to cover some of these items which are key fundamental pillars for building, running, and then maybe selling your automotive business. These are kind of the areas when we're coaching people where we want to see them really excel. So understand the buyer's perspective, financial preparation, operational preparation, succession planning, enhancing your value, the sales process, and finally the post-sale transition. So understanding the buyer's perspective. Think about it for a moment. You've poured your heart and soul into building your auto shop. Now, if someone was looking to buy it, what would really grab their attention? What would make them see the value you've created and be willing to pay a premium? It's important to understand what buyers are looking for. This isn't just about knowing what boxes they tick. It's about stepping into their shoes. As a potential buyer, they're likely looking at this as an investment. They have goals, financial targets, and probably some level of risk aversion. If you understand their motivations, what they're looking for, are they looking for a quick return, a long-term stable business, a strategic acquisition to expand their existing operations? You can tailor your approach and highlight the aspects of your business that directly address their needs. So what are some of the key areas you think that buyers in our industry might be looking for or have? Things like consistent profits, a solid customer base, a smooth transition. When you understand these drivers, you're not just selling, but you're offering a solution to their investment goal. So what are some common traits buyers seek? Well, let's think about it. Let's brainstorm. Some of those must-haves for a buyer in the automotive sector. We know profitability is key, but what key specific financial metrics do you think they'll be digging into? When a potential buyer starts looking at your financials, they're not just skimming the surface. They're going to be digging deep into several key metrics to understand the true health and potential of your automotive business. So let's break down some of the most important ones you need to be prepared to showcase and explain. Net profit margin. This is the ultimate indicator of your profitability. What's left after all the expenses are paid? Buyers will want to see a healthy and consistent net profit margin. Be ready to explain any fluctuations and highlight trends of improvement. Show them that your business isn't just generating revenue, but it's converting a significant portion of that into actual profit for the owner. Gross profit margin. This tells them how efficiently you're managing your direct costs related to your services and parts. A strong gross profit margin indicates you have good control over your pricing and your cost of goods sold. So you must be prepared to explain your pricing strategy, your relationships with your parts suppliers, and how you manage inventory to maintain a healthy gross profit margin. Revenue trends. Buyers will want to see not just current revenue, but a trend over the last few years. So are you showing consistent growth? What factors have contributed to that growth? Be ready to articulate your marketing strategies, customer acquisition efforts, and any recurring revenue streams that demonstrate a stable or increasing revenue base. Cash flow. Profitability is important, but cash flow is king. Buyers will want to understand your operating cash flow, the cash generated from your core business activities. A strong and consistent cash flow demonstrates your ability to meet your short-term obligations and provide the buyer with confidence in the business financial stability. Be prepared to explain your accounts receivable and payable management processes. Whoops, I gotta go back one here. Sorry, guys. So Key performance indicators, while not strictly financial statements, certain KPIs directly impact your financials and will be scrutinized. So these include labor utilization rate. So a high rate of this indicates efficient use of your technicians and directly impacts your profitability. Average repair order, a growing ARO shows your ability to generate more revenue per customer visit. And a customer retention rate. So a high retention signifies a loyal customer base and a predictable future revenue. So where do you guys see untapped opportunities in your business or in your market? Think about new services, new customer segments. So when we talk about growth potential, buyers aren't just looking at your current performance. They're trying to envision the future success of your business under their ownership. As experienced shop owners, you're likely already aware of some of these opportunities. But let's think a little deeper into specific areas that can be particularly attractive to a buyer. Expanding your service offerings. So consider services beyond standard repairs and maintenance. Could you specialize in other areas like accessories, specific cars, makes, models? One area that I always direct my clients to look at is tire sales. Think about becoming a one-stop shop for your clients. And you can make money selling tires, trust me. So think about beyond your customer base. Are there underserved groups in your market? Fleet accounts. Are there any fleets in your local area that you could provide consistent and recurring services to? Online customer acquisition. A strong digital presence can attract new customers who search for online services. Partnerships with local businesses. So collaborating with dealerships, body shops, or other related businesses can generate referrals. So how do you position your business to attract potential buyers? Knowing what they want is one thing. Showing it is something else. This is where you become a strategic marketer for your business. Think about how you can showcase that profitability, not just the numbers, but the story behind them. How can you demonstrate the growth potential? Maybe do a market analysis or outline some expansion plans. How do you alleviate their concerns about risk? Well, this is only done through clear documentation, highlighting a strong team that doesn't rely solely on you, or showcasing excellent customer service retention. So what are 3 specific actions you could take this week to better highlight one of these key traits in your business? Remember, you're not just waiting for a buyer to appear, you're actively making your business the most attractive option out there. Where can you highlight profitability? Run a health check. Find out where we're at today. Demonstrate your customer loyalty. Gather and post recent customer testimonials. Showcase operational efficiency. Dig into a process that you currently haven't documented and create an SOP for it. Whatever you do, grab 3 areas where you could do some work this next coming week and dig into it. All right, let's talk about the numbers. So when you think about someone potentially buying your shop, what is the first thing they're going to want to see? Without a doubt, financials, the books. So importance of clean financial records. Clean financials are not just about keeping the tax man happy. These are your report cards to a potential buyer. So imagine trying to understand a story with missing pages and scribbled notes. That's what messy financials look like to them. It breeds distrust and raises red flags. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how many of you are confident and have clarity about your financial records right now? What's one small step you could take this week to improve their cleanliness? For some of you, it's hiring an accountant or making sure your sales categories are parts and labor, not just total sales. When was the last time we reconciled the bank account? There are so many areas that need to be managed. We need to just pick an area where we're weak and start tackling it. Review and optimize your financial statements. It's not enough just to have financial statements. You need to understand what they're telling you and how to make them as attractive as possible. Think of your income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. These are your business's highlight reels. So when was the last time you sat down and analyzed them? Look for trends. What are you seeing? Are there any areas where we could realistically optimize the business or cut some unnecessary expenses or adjust pricing, parts matrices, labor matrices? These things show a stronger financial picture. Think critically about your numbers. A lot of times those P&L sheets just get reported and shoved in the desk, and maybe we look at them every quarter. Here's the reality. It's too late to do anything about them after the sale has been done. If a quarter's weak, we need to adjust and move forward quickly. The other thing that we really want to see on the financial statement is an owner's wage. Are we paying ourselves? Are we doing a shareholder's draw? Business people that want to buy your shop want to see that the owner was pulling a wage from the business. Are all your sales hitting the statement? These are all things that you have to look at when you're reviewing your financial statements. Addressing any outstanding debts, liabilities. So from a buyer's perspective, taking on a business with a significant outstanding debt is like starting a race with weights on your ankles. It adds risk. So when was the last time you looked at your current debt situation? Are we servicing the debt? Are our accounts receivable in line? Are they growing? Are they up to date? Are they 90 days overdue? Should we be taking on any payments right now based on what the financial statements are showing us? And if we do take on a payment, how do we adjust it on the sales side to cover those off? Buyers want to know, are there any high interest loans or lingering liabilities that you could tackle before even thinking about selling the business? Even small reductions here can make a big difference on how attractive your shop is to a potential buyer. So preparing financial forecasts and business valuations. Now, let's look ahead. Buyers aren't just interested in the past. They want to know about the future. Financial forecasts paint that picture. Have you started to think about what realistic financial forecast looks like for your shop over the next 3 to 5 years? Do we have a current business plan in place? And how are we performing against the benchmarks in that plan? Importantly, do you know what your business is truly worth? Getting a professional valuation just isn't about setting a price. It's about understanding your leverage and negotiating it confidently. So it must show a profitable business over time, not just the last 3 years. Buyers aren't looking for a flash in the pan. They want to see a consistent track record of profitability. 3 years is a common benchmark, but showing a longer history of success builds even more confidence. So what stories do your profit trends tell? What would you be proud to show would you be proud to show anyone your P&L? Or do you keep it hidden away? Your P&L should be something that we're just super happy to show. Does your P&L show the steady growth and resilience through challenges? Be prepared to explain your financial journey and highlight the sustainability of your profitability. Understanding how the business will be valued, and do you own the property? So let's talk about the price tag. Understanding the different valuation methods is crucial. So there's some common business valuation methods that are used. There's seller discretionary earnings. This is common for smaller to medium-sized owner-operated shops. The SDE, your total owner benefit, is multiplied by an industry-specific multiple. This multiple is influenced by factors like profitability, growth trends, customer loyalty, and risk. EBITDA multiple. For larger shops, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. This is used most often from what I've seen, and it's used as a basis, and it's multiplied by an industry multiple. Right now, 3.5, 4 is kind of the number we're seeing out there. An asset-based valuation. This method focuses on the net value of the business's tangible assets. So your equipment, inventory, real estate. This is kind of less common for service-based businesses, but it can be a factor, especially if significant real estate is involved. There's also market-based valuations. This looks at recent sales of comparable automotive repair businesses in your market. But finding truly comparable sales data is challenging, but it can provide a useful benchmark. So the impact of owning the real estate is really a big thing. It increases valuation. Owning the real estate where your shop operates typically will increase the overall value of the transaction. This is because the buyer isn't just acquiring the business operations, they're also acquiring some valuable assets, the land and building. This eliminates the need to really have uncertainty about the leasing or coming up with a rental agreement or dealing with other landlords. Separate valuations. So the real estate and the business operations can be valued separately and then combined. A commercial real estate appraiser would likely assess the market value of your property. It will attract a wider pool of buyers. Some buyers prefer to own the real estate. This gives them long-term stability and control over their operating environment. Owning the property can give you more leverage during negotiations. You have the option to sell the property with the business or potentially lease it to the new owner under favorable terms. Be aware that selling the business and the real estate can have different tax implications. So you should be using a financial advisor and an accountant to understand these. If you don't own the property, the terms of your lease agreement will become very important to the buyer. A long-term lease with favorable terms can reduce the perceived risk for the buyer. Conversely, a short-term lease or an unfavorable terms can negatively impact the business valuation. Operational preparation. All right, so let's think about a typical busy day in your shop. What are some of the things that slow you down, cause you frustration, or even cost you money because things aren't running as smoothly as they could be? Streamline operations for efficiency. Now imagine if you could eliminate some of those daily headaches. Streamlining is all about making your shop run like a well-oiled machine. So where do you see the biggest opportunities for improvement in your current workflow? Look at customer check-in, vehicle flow through the shop, parts ordering, customer communication. That's a huge one. When we look at the reporting, that's one of the biggest issues consumers have is, when am I going to get my car back? What's one small change you could implement next week to save you time or reduce wasted effort? Focus on some practical, immediate areas where you could improve. And let me tell you, communication is the simplest one to begin with. Documenting standard operating procedures. So let's be honest, how much of your shop's knowledge lives primarily in your head? Documenting SOPs isn't just about creating more paperwork. It is about creating a consistent customer experience, making it easier to train new team members, and ensuring things run smoothly even when you're not there. So what are 2 or 3 key processes in your shop that are not currently documented? Think about oil changes, brake jobs, how we talk to customers, how we communicate with customers. And one of the biggest challenges I see is digital vehicle inspection consistency. What's yellow? What's red? What do we take pictures of? What do we not take pictures of? So you can see one of these would be a great benefit to have written down about how we do this process. Once we have the clearly defined goalposts on how we are to play this game, everyone can be held accountable in the business. One thing that we don't spend a lot of time looking at is licenses, permits, and insurances. So this might seem like a less exciting part of the business, but it's absolutely critical for protecting everything you've built. Imagine the nightmare of a surprise and, there's a fire, or the good old workers' compensation guy shows up to do an audit on the building. You have to know when these are due and have to have processes in place. So when was the last time you reviewed all your licenses, permits, and insurance policies? So my advice, grab one of them over the next month or two. Make sure that you're fully covered and compliant. Reducing dependency on the owner's direct involvement. So as the owner, you're likely involved in many aspects of the day-to-day. But if you ever want to take more time off or eventually sell the business, a shop that relies heavily on you is less attractive to buyers and harder to manage remotely. So what tasks are you currently handling that you could delegate to a trusted member? Think about it. Service advisor, shop foreman, shop dispatching, appointment coordinator. These are all seats that need to be occupied by somebody. And a lot of times it's the shop owner. He's got the headset taped to his ear. He's fixing the car. He's running through the bays. He's trying to order the parts. Some point, something will break, and it may be your health. None of us have a crystal ball. Unexpected life events happen. By having your operations streamlined, documented, and your legal house in order today, you're not just preparing for a potential sale down the road, but you're building a more resilient and valuable business overall. So make a commitment, get your SOPs done, look at those areas in the business we just talked about, and make sure that they're ready for you to move on. Succession planning. Many of you have built an incredible business that could thrive for years to come. But have you started to think about what the future leadership of your shop might look like? You want to make sure that you put the person in a position early, and it takes years to develop the skills. So think about training a top-notch technician. That does not happen overnight, right? Developing a leader for your entire business is even more complex. So who in your team today has shown potential for growth beyond their current role? Think about it. Write their name down. What small leadership opportunities could you start giving them tomorrow to see how they can handle this responsibility and begin to build those crucial skills over time? Again, identify them and look for gradual development. The biggest failures I see is when we have a technician, he's fantastic. He's great at his job. He's the first guy we put into a leadership role, shop dispatch, shop manager, and we just tell him to do it, but we offer him no training. We just put him into the position. Well, guess what? There's a lot of failure when that happens, and a lot of frustration, both on the owner and on the gentleman you put in or lady you put in the position. And sometimes those employees decide to leave. It's one thing to give someone tasks, but it's another to give them genuine control and ownership. To truly develop a successor, you need to be willing to let go of the reins gradually. I have seen shop owners that take this to heart and put that person in place and then leave. No SOPs, no follow-up, no leadership training, and they step back into the business in a month and everything's gone to pot. Well, they didn't do the work they needed to do at the first place. So giving them the reins is very important. So where's an area of your business where you could realistically step back and allow a promising team member to take the lead on a project or lead a small team in your business? What support and guidance would they need to succeed in that scenario? So think about empowerment and providing the necessary support. You cannot have multiple leaders. Roles must be clearly set out. Think about a pit crew. Everyone has a specific role. They need to work in perfect sync. Ambiguous leadership creates confusion, conflict, and slows things down. So within your team, are leadership roles and responsibilities crystal clear? What does your organizational chart look like? Be honest. If you're envisioning a transition, even a future one, how will you ensure that the lines of authority are well defined to provide to avoid power struggles and maintain a smooth operation? So clarity and preventing future issues is where you need to focus. Timelines need to be discussed and agreed to. Succession isn't something that happens overnight or in a rushed panic. It requires a thoughtful plan with realistic timelines. So have you sat down and started to map out a future transition or milestones, even in a rough sense? Who are the key people who need to be involved? Your wife, family? And how will you ensure open communication about the plan as it moves forward? Don't just say, I would like to retire or I plan to retire. If it is in 20 years, let's make sure that we've got a plan that shows it's going to be in 20 years. Think about all the knowledge your business holds, all the knowledge about the business you hold, the relationships you build, the processes, the history. For a smooth transition that needs to be shared openly and proactively. So what are some key critical pieces of information that you hold on to? What systems or processes could you put in place now to start documenting and sharing your knowledge with potential future leaders? Even doing a cash sheet, letting them close out for the day. Little baby steps lets them step into the role gradually. So will it be an asset sale, share sale, or gifting to a family member? The how of your exit strategy has significant implications for your finances, your family, and the future of your business. So you need to start exploring different options. Do we sell the assets? Do we sell shares? Do we pass it on to a family member? There are legal and financial advisors out there you should be talking to. You need to understand the pros and cons of each path to your specific situation. So explore those options. Company culture and making sure they continue without you. Your shop's culture, the way your team interacts, and the values you uphold is a huge part of your business's identity and success. A new leader needs to understand and ideally champion that culture. So, have you written down your core values that define your shop? What steps can you take to reinforce those values within your team today so that they become ingrained and can continue to thrive even when there's a change of leadership? If we walked into your business and asked them what your mission or vision statement is, how many of your staff could give it back to you? It's an interesting experiment to try and well worth your effort. So we've talked a lot about preparing for a potential sale, but even if that's not your immediate plan, what are some things you'd like to see happen with your business in the coming years? What does a more valuable business look like to you? So let's look at identifying and capitalizing on growth opportunities. Value just doesn't appear. It's built through strategic growth. Think beyond your current services and customer base. So where are the emerging trends in the industry? And what can you potentially tap into? What's one small experiment you could run in the next quarter to test the new growth opportunity? Think ADAS, ADAS calibrations, electric vehicle service and repair, performance upgrades and modifications, detailing, cosmetic services, towing. Previous session today, autonomous driving cars that are needing service. How do we get access to those fleets to be able to take care of them? Those are things we need to look at today. So building generational wealth, net profit, and retained earnings. Ultimately, the value of your business translates into your financial future and potentially generational wealth. This requires a laser focus on profitability and strategically retaining earnings. Are you actively tracking your net profit margins? Are your books up to date? Do you have your net profit allocated for in your gross profit calculation? These are the things that you need to spend the time on and build into the business. So what are some levers you could pull? Pricing, cost control, efficiency to improve those margins. Are you consciously deciding where to reinvest profits to further your growth and increase long-term value? This is financial mastery and strategic reinvestment. Strengthening customer and supplier relationships. Think about the stickiness of your business. Strong relationships with both customers and suppliers create a more resilient and valuable enterprise. So what are you doing today to go above and beyond for your best customers? Are you nurturing those relationships? And on the supplier side, are you just a transactional business to them? Or are you building a true partnership that may give you an edge in terms of pricing or access to parts? In both cases, we need to focus on building loyalty and mutually beneficial partnerships. Investing in technology and innovation. The automotive industry is constantly evolving. Staying ahead of the curve with technology and innovative practices is crucial for long-term value. What are some areas where technology can significantly improve your business efficiency, customers' experience, or service offerings? Think about diagnostic tools, shop management software, customer communication, CRM, an interesting emerging market, off-site module programming. What's one piece of technology that you've been considering that would give you a competitive advantage? This future-proofs your business and gives you that competitive edge. Steps in the sale process. Selling your business is going to be a multi-stage process, and understanding each step is crucial for a smooth and successful transaction. It typically begins with an initial inquiry where the potential buyers express some interest. This might come through a business broker, online listings, or even word of mouth. Next will come the negotiation where you and the buyer discuss price, terms, conditions of the sale. This can involve multiple rounds of offers and counter offers, and it is essential to have a clear understanding of your business's value and your negotiation limits. Following an accepted offer becomes next due diligence, and this is a critical phase. This is where the buyer thoroughly investigates your business. This involves examining your financials, operation, legal documents, and customer relationships. Being well prepared here for due diligence is paramount. Finally, if due diligence is satisfactory, the process culminates in a closing, where the legal documents are signed, funds are transferred, and ownership of the business is officially transferred to the buyer. Each stage has its own complexities and requires careful attention. Shining a light on your business. Preparing for due diligence. As we touched on, due diligence is where the buyer digs deep. Your goal is to make this process smooth and transparent as possible. This means proactively preparing all the information the buyer will likely find interesting. Think of it as opening your business books and operations for a careful review. They're going to look at financial records, profit and loss statements, balance sheets, operationals, documents, SOPs, lease agreements, equipment maintenance, legal documents, contracts, licenses, permits, and retention rates, and key accounts from your customers. Negotiating the terms and conditions, so finding that mutually beneficial agreement. Negotiating is about finding the agreeable outcome. Price is key, but it's not the only one. Terms and conditions can include things like closing date, allocation of assets, any seller financing involved, and non-compete agreements. Before you enter into negotiations, have a clear understanding of your minimal acceptable price, your priorities regarding the other terms. Be prepared to justify your asking price based on your business financial performance, assets, and market value. Be open to compromise, but also know when to stand firm on key issues. You need to have the advice of professionals. Brokers and your lawyer become very important. Remember, negotiation is a two-way street, and understanding the buyer's motivations and concerns can help you find a creative solution. So understanding funding options. Financing the acquisition of an auto repair business can be complex. Buyers typically explore various options, including traditional bank loans, small business administrative loans, and potentially seller financing. Seller financing occurs when you, as the seller, provide a loan to the buyer for a portion of the purchase price. While this can sometimes facilitate a sale, it also comes as a risk to you, as you become the lender. And generally, I don't recommend it. It's often preferable for the seller if the buyer secures independent financing. This is going to allow for a cleaner break, and it is going to avoid the ongoing risk and administrative burden of managing a loan. So be prepared to discuss financing options with your buyers, but also understand your own comfort level and potential risks and rewards to offer seller financing. So finalizing the sale. Finalizing the sale involves signing the legal documents that transfer ownership of the business. This is where all the previous steps culminate, and it's crucial to have legal representation to ensure all paperwork is in order and your interests are protected. The transition of ownership is also a critical part of this stage. Buyers often rely on the seller to provide support and guidance during the initial period. After the sale, to ensure a smooth handover of operations, customer relations, and employee management. Be prepared to discuss the terms of the transition period, including the duration of your involvement, the scope of your support. Having a well-planned transition can significantly increase the buyer's confidence and the likelihood of a successful long-term outcome for the business. We're here. The sale isn't the finish line. It's a significant change for your staff and your customers. A smooth transition at this stage is crucial for maintaining the goodwill you've built. For employees, think about their anxieties. Will their jobs be secured? Will there be new management styles? Communicate openly and honestly about the transition process. Ideally, the buyer will value your team and want to retain them. Your role in financing, in facilitating introductions, and reassuring your staff can be invaluable. A positive transition for employees leads to continued productivity and reduces disruption. For your customers have come to rely on your shop for their needs. How will the sale impact them? Will the services remain the same? Will they recognize the new ownership? A clear and well-documented transition plan for customers will help retain their loyalty. Consider introducing the new owner and highlighting any continuity in services or staff. A smooth transition protects the business's reputation and the revenue stream for the buyer. Post-sale obligations and commitments. Don't assume your involvement ends the moment the deal closes. Most sales agreements include post-sale obligations and commitments. Training and support could be an area. Be prepared to offer training and support to the new owner and their team. This could involve sharing your operational knowledge, introducing them to key contacts, and helping them understand the nuances of the business. The more prepared the buyer is, the smoother the transition will be, and the less likely you are to have issues arise later. Non-compete agreements. Understand the terms of your non-compete. Where and for how long are you restricted from opening a similar business? Factor this into your future plans. Representations and warranties. You'll likely have made certain representation and warranties about the business during the sales process. Be prepared to address any issues that may arise related to these. A clear understanding of your ongoing responsibilities will prevent potential legal or financial complications down the road. Celebrating success and planning your next steps. Selling your business is a major achievement. Take the time to acknowledge and celebrate your hard work and success. You built something valuable. Financial planning. Now is the time to solidify your post-sale financial plan. Work with a financial advisor to manage the proceeds from the sale and ensure your long-term financial security. Personal goals. This is a big one. What's next for you? Have you thought about your personal goals and aspirations? Selling your business can free up time and resources to pursue other passions, spend time with family, or embark in new ventures. Leaving a legacy. Reflect on the legacy you've built with your business. While you're moving on, the impact you've had on your employees, customers, and community will remain. Planning your next steps with intention will help you create a fulfilling new chapter after the sale. I'm not sure if we have any questions.
Thank you so much, Dog. Honestly, this was such an amazing session. You made it everything seem so simple, so easy, and super fun. Um, well, I don't see any questions currently right now in our Q&A box or our chat. Though Henna says thank you so much to you as well.
For sure.
Guys, if you guys have any questions even later on, you guys can leave it. You guys can email us, you guys can email Doug, and then Doug will make sure that we forward those questions to you, and then you can respond to them via your email.
I do have a few more slides to go through if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. We do have like I think 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh,
So I'm
okay,
gonna
sorry. For sure.
yep, yeah. So I'm gonna let the audience send in their questions if they have any. I don't see any questions coming in, though I do see Henna says that your session was had so much of value in it. So
Thanks,
definitely,
Hannah.
Henna, I couldn't have agreed more with you. Um, there are no questions currently, though, but if we do receive them later on, or if we have any in our general chat, I'll take a look at it and I'll forward those to you through your email.
For sure. That'd be awesome.
That's great. Thank you so much again, once again for such an amazing session. To all the attendees, we have our after party starting in the next 10 minutes. Make sure you join there because we'll be announcing the winner for the leadership leaderboard challenge, for the photo booth contest, and the entertainment break game. And one lucky winner will also take away a Samsung tablet. So make sure that you definitely join the after party. And you too, Dog. I think you should 100% join the after party.
Right?
I think, yeah, that's pretty much it then. Then thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Doc, for the session and for being a part of Amplify. We really, really appreciate it.
No problem. I did have just an offering that we wanted to offer the people today. Did you want, can I show them that slide?
Yeah, sure, sure. You can.
Okay. So for a recap of today's webinar more, you can scan this QR code and it'll take you to the slides and an exit strategy document from AutoLeap. We're prepared to offer that to you. I would like to offer and talk about Fly with the Eagles, June 26th to 28th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I will be there. It's a 3-day boot camp for shop owners and managers, and it is life-changing for a lot of the shop owners and managers that have attended in the past. This, Darren, our owner, has decided to offer up a real good deal if you wanted to attend Fly with the Eagles. So it's regularly $17.95. Early bird pricing was just up at $6.99. And Darren's put out this offer for attending today's webinar, $3.99. So if you register by the end of day Friday, so you have to do it right away. Use Amplify 300 in the checkout code, and it'll bring up this special pricing for you, okay? Thank you.
That honestly sounds like an amazing offer, guys. Go and register as soon as possible and don't forget to use the Amplify code. Thank you so much once again, everyone who attended the session, and thank you so much, Doug, for doing this with us.
It was an honor. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Goodbye. Take care.
Bye-bye.